We are very, very close now to AIs moving up a step to not just take over individual tasks, but to take over jobs and then entire departments and most of what companies do. Let me explain how this is working. So, because the AI technology is moving exponentially fast, this is just faster than anybody has in business. So none of your past experience is really going to help you with this. This is absolutely unprecedented. So big companies, especially, they mean well, but it's difficult to move them this fast. So what you have is the productivity that is, slowly increasing with a little bit of technology and natural progression, is very linear and static in comparison with the exponential capabilities of AI. So, what we now have is an exponentially widening gap between what companies could be doing and what they're actually doing. And this gap is getting quite extreme at the moment. So, the stages of AI possibilities within a company. So some companies are still trying to resist AI completely, but let's give the benefit of the doubt that most people are using chatbots. Certainly, people use chatbots privately in secret on company work. The better companies are already, coordinating this a little bit so they keep control of their companies. Now, agents, I'm very often teaching companies how to deploy AI agents into workflows. It's rare, but once people get the hang of it, they're very quick at it. And of course, now we've got the super agents just coming along. Now, to get a number of agents working together in a workflow, there are products out there called things like Lindy, Zapier, Cassidy. Now, I did try those, but they are really tiresome and fiddly because they're very kind of manual. You've got to literally kind of bolt things together, and it's just takes a lot of time for not much result, in my view. I'm sure people have found use for them, already, but personally, I'd kind of wait for something better. So what happened just I think yesterday was Google came out with Agentspace. So this is where you have a lot of different agents that other people have built, similar to the GPT marketplace. And these are, think of them the equivalent of human workers that are specialists. So you may have an accounting analyst, an insurance underwriter, a social media coordinator, and these agents are built and you can recruit them very much like you would a human workforce. And what Google has done as a bit of a breakthrough is have the integration between those a little bit smoother now, so that they can interact with each other within an organizational structure. PwC did a system like that as well. But these, they're better, they're a level up from the workflow platforms, and in the right direction, but they're still, in my view, not quite there yet. So I've signed up for Google Agentspace. There's always big waiting lists for these things, but I'll have a play with it later and let you know. But what I'm waiting for is orchestration intelligence. So I'll show you what it is. So at the moment, with something like the where you have to manually bolt agents together and workflows, this is very intensive. It's like a big digital transformation project, and with enough time and effort, I know what it needs to look like, but it's so difficult. What I'm waiting for is an AI service to come along that does all of that orchestration, organization layer for me. So I explain my business to it, and it's like, okay, here's your configuration. Here's an agent that can do this. Here's a customized one that can do that. Here's another agent. Here's how it fits onto your kind of base layer of AI and into all of your current data and any existing infrastructure, your ERP system or anything like that. So at the moment, there are tools to kind of bolt all this together manually. It's very tiresome. but I'm just waiting for an AI to do that very complex work for me. Now, there's a lot of potential danger in this. If you just let an AI loose and say, look, replicate my company, and you didn't do that properly, you would have a problem, because imagine it gets it wrong because it just doesn't have the information and then drives your company into the ground in 5 minutes. You don't want that. And I think this is why some of the big AI companies are hesitating on releasing something quite so powerful. The technology is already there to do it, but they're holding back. But we're probably a couple of months off this taking place. But imagine you get your hands on an AI organization level orchestration agent. What would implementing that look like? And you would have to do a detailed implementation to get this right. So first, you'd give it all of the information about your organization. You'd give it all the org charts, the job roles, the policies, all your processes at the moment, and give that to the AI and say, look, this is what we do at the moment in the old manual, human way. Then it comes up with an architecture of all of these different super agents that are replacing a lot of these human roles, but it's in draft. So I don't want it to go nuts and just implement it. I want to look at it. I don't want to do the massive heavy lifting work of designing the whole thing. I could, but it would just take me weeks, right? But this AI, what I'm waiting for, would do all of that in draft. Then I'd review it. And then I'd say, yeah, okay, this is right. So the stage 3 here, human review and ethics filter. The human agent balance, that is another complete topic of, how do humans fit into these agent swarms? They do. It's incredibly complex. The tech companies don't look at this. I'm beginning to look at it. I'll do in a future video on that, but it's an important stage as well. Then you do a staged rollout. You don't just give it the keys to the car straight away. You want to just test it in pilots in individual departments first, and often in parallel with what you're running at the moment. And when it's productivity and efficiency overtakes your current structure, then you give it the go-ahead. And of course, the technology is always improving. You're always improving your organization. You're in a competitive space, so you'd always be improving on that. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this to be possible. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on something like Zapier, Cassidy, Agentspace yet. They're very quickly moving in an obvious direction. I think we can see where this is going to end up, and that there's enormous implications for business, for careers, for everything, for society when this happens. This is coming, but there's a little bit of a structured view of the way I see it going, and how actually this will play out.